This WCBN Channel 12. We're here at the Political Forum here in downtown here in Tennessee, where all the different candidates are going to get up and speak to us, tell us their ideas, what they're up, and let us know how things are going. We're WCBN Channel 12. We're sponsored by Ace Hardware at Tennessee Ridge, Signature Healthcare Ovarian, and Houston County Mayor George E. Clark. And we appreciate all of our fine sponsors. And Houston County Drug Alliance is in there too. I almost forget them. Herb's up there fixing the microphone, so I better not forget him too much, or he'll really get on to me. Here. So with that, we'll get started here in just a minute.
Would you please lower your voices? It's time to get our forum started, and I want you to be sure and hear me. Can you folks out there hear me?
On the other side.
Well, the wall's blocking me. If you're on the other side of the wall and you want to hear, you'll have to come around. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. And we're here to support our candidates and to give them a chance to get acquainted with you a little bit more. This is sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce and the Fce clubs, which is Family Community Education Clubs. The Chamber is in this with us, and they're going to give you free watermelon at our intermission. The Fce clubs have free lemonade for you. If you get thirsty, you can go around there and get your glass of lemonade. At this time, I would like to ask Debbie Schmidt to sing the national anthem for us. Would you please stand? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glares above bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Would you please remain standing, or we're going to do the pledge? Lori Pendergrass, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, is going to lead us in that pledge.
Those of you that have not removed your hats, would you please do so? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Mr. Herbert Gould is going to lead us in prayer.
Father, we thank you that you've placed us in a free land. We thank you for the duty that you've given us to maintain that freedom by exercising our freedom to vote. Father, we pray that you would guide us and give us wisdom and help us to elect Christian men and women. It's in Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you. like to say that the Drug Alliance is furnishing our PA system, and Mr. Gould told me that if any of you ever need it for a project or something, that you can use it. So I don't know who you get in touch with, but get in touch with him if you need it. I want to thank the Chamber for participating in this with us. This is our fifth annual forum. We have done this for 20 years. Every 4 years we do this for you. And this is my third term of being the MC. And I appreciate everybody taking part in helping me and getting this set up. Tonight, as we do our candidacy, have our candidates come forward, I listed the office that they're running for in alphabetical order. Those people that are running for a certain office, their names are also in alphabetical order. So to start with, let me introduce Mr. Harry Batten. I went blank, I'm sorry. Mr. Harry Batten, a dear friend of mine, is our timekeeper. You will have 2 minutes to present your platform, 3 minutes for question and answer. You may use all of that 5 minutes or part of it, whichever suits you best. And Mr. Harry will let you know when your 2 minutes are up and you start on the question and answer, or if you want to talk more, that's up to you. To start out with, we begin with the letter A, and that's the people running for the office of Alderman for the city of Erin. And when I mailed out all of the cards for you people, for your invitation, is there any here that did not receive a card? The people that responded to my invitation, I have their name highlighted, and they will be allowed to speak. Those of you, if you're here and you did not respond, you will be able to speak, but it'll be later in our program. Running for Ward 1 as Alderman of the city, the first one is Nina Finley.
I don't know whether I need this or not. You can probably hear me without it. On the bottom of my card, I put, tell me how we can improve Erin. I'll listen. I've been going door to door, still got a whole bunch to go. And I'm getting some good ideas. One was we need a pawn shop where I can go buy electronics and tools cheap. Believe it or not, there's a pawn shop going in about a week down on the east end of town. Another good idea that I got was have a monthly community flea market where we'll get people coming from out of town. They recommended where the sign says farmer's market that nobody ever goes to. I recommend we have it down on the east end of the walking trail on that vacant lot. Charge $5. That will be somebody that will park you, keep up with it, and clean it up when it's over. If we have that monthly, we'll get Clarksville, Dixon, Waverly, and my car stops at every flea market. It doesn't stop. How can we improve Erin? Well, we've got some street right-of-ways that need a little attention. But the people that complain to me they can't see, I said, why don't you get your weed eater, live lead, or scissors and go cut it down yourself? That didn't go over too well. Have you all been to Van Lair lately? Okay. 5 years ago, Van Lair was dead as a doorknob. Vacant houses, streets in a mess, yards growed up. Now, the bank had left. Got it? Okay. Now, do I a question.
Yes, you can do whatever you want to do.
What did Van Leer do?
Okay, Van Leer got a bank back. Then Tri-State Farmer built that. Now we've got the Amish. Go through Van Leer and look at those houses. They're all inhabited. Got 2 antique shops. I think the buildings over here, we've got to do something to be business friendly. The more sales tax we get, the less the property tax. Any more questions? I can go for a solid hour. Oh, by the way, this is not an Irish decoration. It's called a sweat rag. And believe me, y'all gonna need it before you get through. By the way, thanks, Mr. Clark, for the sign.
More than welcome.
Absolutely.
Next, running for the City of Erin Alderman, Wanda Lockhart.
Hello, I'm Wanda Lockhart, and I appreciate everybody. Okay, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, and I appreciate the FCA and the Chamber of Commerce and Ms. Inez for doing such a good job. I'm running for City Alderman again. I've been there a while. I try to do the very best I can. It's not always easy, but I do the best I can, and I try to work for the people. And as probably all of you know, I'm not a yes person. I'm going to vote for what I think is right and try to do the very best I can. And I appreciate all of your support, and I appreciate your vote if I could get it. And I'd just like to thank you for coming tonight. Thank you.
For Ward 2, I had one response, and that is Ellen Ligon.
Betsy.
Betsy, for Betsy's Park. Betsy, I just can't use that Ellen.
Since 911, I've had to change everything officially to Ellen, which is my real name, Ellen Elizabeth. But it's Betsy Ligon, and I have been on the council for 30-something years. There was just one short term I was not. I believe in doing things to improve our city, trying to protect our citizens, so I believe in a strong police force because I believe we want to have our streets and our businesses patrolled, and that's why we need a strong police force. I believe we need clean water and demand it and expect it to be maintained, and the sewer system. Planning Commission, I strongly believe in because with planning and zoning here in the city, we are able to participate in the federal flood insurance program. We're the only place in the county that does it. So these are strong things that I will continue to promote. Safety, promotion of our businesses in town, besides the park. I participate in many of these committee meetings for the downtown revitalization. That's what the City of Erin is trying to do to bring back business into town. We were looking worn out and dead. And that's the first start, and it's been a beautiful, beautiful turnout for that. So just wanted to tell you that I try to listen to anybody that does call me and respond, and then get back to them after I've seen what I can do. So just, are there any questions? There we go, touch you. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Betsy. I want to thank Ms. Wanda Lockhart for saying I did a fine job. I sure do. I couldn't even think of my dear friend Harry's last name. We had no response from Ward 3. We have one response from Ward 4, and that's Delinda Haynes. thank everyone for having us here and everyone that came out. My name is Delinda Annette Haynes. I've lived here all my life. I'm running for City Alderman in Ward 4. I'm just an ordinary person, and I just want us to have, get back to the way we was raised up, to be truthful. I don't believe we should be stealing. I think everyone needs to stand up and do their own part, make this a better community. I think we need business to come back here and have more jobs. And like she said about the buildings that are sitting empty, we need to see those filled up. And everyone, instead of running to Walmart all the time and buying from people that are doing stuff here in the community, that puts money back in here that we so desperately need. And do what you can to keep our kids in Houston County off drugs and alcohol. Thank you. Any questions? Thanks.
Thank you.
That's all that is on my list for the position of Alderman of Erin. Next, we're going to say thank you to Mr. Robert Brown. I don't know if he's in the round out here, but Robert is unopposed, so therefore he didn't respond because he knew he didn't have a reason. But we thank him for all the years that he's given to us. Next is Circuit Court Clerk. The letter C continues. And for that position, we have Denise Featherstone as our first speaker.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to say thank you for the Chamber of Commerce and FCAE for inviting us here, and glad that everybody got to come out. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Denise Featherstone. I'm married to Chucky Featherstone, and we have two boys, Tyler and Corey. We've lived here all our lives. I have worked in Nashville. I worked at Nashville at American General Insurance for 8 years. Moved back here and worked at Mitchum Drug as their accounts payable clerk for 10 years. And off and on for the last 5 years, I've worked with TVA and electrical contracting. As far as my experience, my work experience, I have the clerical work experience that anybody needs to run the office. But to me, the most important thing is being able to work one-on-one with the public. Whenever I first went to work at Mitchum's, Mr. Will Mitchum come up to me, and of course I was standing behind the cash register and there at the counter, and he told me, he said, Denise, he said, you always need to have a smile on your face. Anybody that's coming in that door, they've either been to the doctor, they've been diagnosed with a terminal illness, going through the loss of loved ones, whatever the case is, whenever you walk up to that counter, you have that smile on your face. Well, to me, that holds true with this office. Whenever anybody comes in that courtroom, they're going through trials, they've got lots of stress on them. So whenever they walk into that courtroom and that office, I want them to know that I will be there to help. Proficiency, communication is the most important thing. So, as far as the proficiency in communication, we've got to have a good proficiency in our office, keeping our dockets, paperwork current. Communication. We've got to have communication open between that office and the officials, judges, anybody that's involved with the court. So, with that being said, I would appreciate your vote and elect me as your Houston County Circuit Court Clerk. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
I don't know if the candidates are understanding about the time, but you have 2 minutes for your platform. But if you want to use more, you can. You have 5 minutes altogether. So you can use those 5 minutes however you desire. Next on our list of running for circuit court clerk is Wanda Mitchell.
Well, thanks everyone for having us here. I'm Rhonda Mitchell. I'm running for circuit court clerk, and for the ones that don't know me, which I've lived here all my life, I'm married to Albert Mitchell, and we have 2 sons, AJ and Wes. And I think this position is very important for the people of Houston County, but it's still a little bit different to me than some of the other positions that people are running for, because I can't make changes. I can't make the rules or the laws or do anything like that, but I can follow what's already there. The regulations, the guidelines are already there, and I will do my most, the best I can to follow those. Yeah. I believe in voting, and we all know each other, and you have 3 candidates to choose from. And it's just a matter of who you think that is best qualified for the job. We're all friends. We have family connections. Everybody does. This is a small community, and it's just hard to pick and choose. But if you didn't have 3, there's no need for an election. So we're all asking for your vote. I appreciate it. But the only thing I ask is please vote, because it will count. Thank you.
Number three on our list. Is this working? Gary broke our mic. We're in trouble, folks. The battery must have got crooked. It needed a man's touch, that's what Harry said. That's good. The next one for our circuit court clerk position is Sharon Tomlinson.
I would like to take just a moment to thank the Aaron Chamber of Commerce and the FCE clubs in San Diego for the opportunity for each candidate to introduce themselves, and of course for the wonderful refreshments we're going to receive in a few moments. In case I haven't yet called you to jury duty and you haven't met me, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Sharon Tomlinson. I'm the wife of Ray Tomlinson. I'm the mother of 3 children and 7 grandchildren, and we all reside here in Houston County. I would like to thank you, the citizens of Houston County, for electing me as your circuit court clerk 4 short years ago. I have thoroughly enjoyed my job. I enjoy serving the people, and I would of course love to continue my service. The office of circuit court entails much more than circuit court. This office also manages the courts of general sessions and juvenile. We deal with both criminal court and civil court in all 3 courts. I have worked in the judicial system of Houston County since 1996. Over the past 4 years, I have worked diligently to make improvements to the office, and with the assistance of the County Commission, we now have computers, all the necessary state programs, which provide more efficient record keeping, court dockets, bookkeeping, which is not only beneficial to me and my staff, but also to the judges, the attorneys, but more importantly, to you, the public. If re-elected as your circuit court clerk, I promise to continue to be courteous and helpful to each person who enters my doors, regardless of who they are or what their circumstances may be. My staff realizes that although each person's situation may be different and it is of the utmost importance to that person. I do want to thank you for the encouragement and for the wonderful support that has been shown to me throughout this campaign, and I ask you each to remember to vote. Early voting began today and it will continue until July 31st. Election day is August the 5th. I humbly ask, when you cast your ballot for Circuit Court Clerk of Houston County, you vote Sharon Tomlinson. Thank you. Does anyone have a question? Thank you very much.
No questions? I was so worried about figuring my time slot for everybody, but with no questions, it moves right along, doesn't it? I had, next coming on my list is county commissioners. I had no response from District 1.
Yes, you did.
Sammy Bass,
No.
you tell me your name.
George Gerald.
George, you may come and speak.
Thank you.
I'm doing a fine job, aren't I? That's only $2. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
You hold the microphone and sit down and I'll talk, okay? I can talk real loud. I'm George Jerem, running for Commissioner in District 1, our westernmost district. A little bit about me briefly. I've got an MBA from Stanford University, from Ohio State University, and I've got a chemical engineering degree, Bachelor of Science, from Stanford University. I've run businesses with as many as near 1,000 people as being a manager and a general manager, and I've done a lot of consulting work for the industry. I want to thank Sammy Bass for not showing up again, because when you follow Sammy Bass, he's got a lot of gas and it's high price, and I don't like following people with a lot of gas. But anyhow, we need to encourage recreation and retirement in our community. That's where the jobs are. We need to encourage retirees to move here because they bring a pile of money with them. They don't tax our school system by bringing school-age kids, and they're a very good credit to our community. We also need to promote our recreation. The western side of the county has the lake and forests, and we can have so much tourism here, and they're all green jobs. They're not any polluting jobs, they're green jobs. We need to promote that. The other thing we need to do is to get a good telecommunication system and a good information technology system here. We are the third-rate community for Mississippi and the TEC and People's Telephone. If it weren't for the people that work at TEC from Houston County, who just work their tails off, and they'll work the weekends and take care of us, and they've taken care of us for years without support from Mississippi. They're not spending the money for infrastructure in our county to attract good business. The first thing anybody talks about coming here is to have good communications, good information technology. We need to really concentrate and force them to bring that money back to the county. They're charging 15 cents a minute for long distance, which is absurd. You can get it for 2 cents. Anyway, I just want to put the pressure on TEC and also recreation and retirement. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you for your time.
I apologize. I'm very sorry about not having your name marked.
That's okay.
I highlighted all names as I got phone calls. I'll tell you what, I just think that old woman's up there today and she's not thinking right. District 2, do I have anyone responding? Because I have no one on my paper. I think I'm going to start doing it that way. District 3, Number 1, Mr. Glenn Baggett.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank our sponsors for holding this event today evening and everyone for turning out. I am Glenn Baggett. I'm running for re-election. Glenn Baggett. I'm running for re-election for County Commission. I've been fortunate enough to serve for the last 4 years, and I'm excited about what the future holds for Houston County and the things we're doing. And I would love the opportunity to continue with that process. I was born and raised here. I graduated high school here and have lived here just about all my life. I am not a public speaker, so I'm a little bit timid right now, so just bear with me. My voting record for the last 4 years is very public. I voted yes when we needed to and no when we should. I have supported the infrastructure improvements and advances that Houston County needs to advance and to draw the business and to draw the jobs. And I look forward to the opportunity to continue that process. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you. Next for District 3, Mr. Ray Elliott. How you like that, Mr.? I call all my friends Mr. and Mrs.
I want to thank the FCE, Ms. Inez, and the Chamber for putting this on. And I want to thank everybody for showing up here tonight. I know it's a hot night, but we'll try to get through it best we know how. The first thing I want to say, I'm running for re-election, County Commissioner, District 3 again. But whether or not you vote for me or not, you need to vote. We need to keep that flag flying.
Amen.
That is the way to keep it flying, is by voting. So you need to vote. And urge your family, your friends, all your relatives to get out and vote. And each vote does matter. So we'll see everybody vote. I've served for several years on the county commission. I've done the best I know how, and requested confidence of the public, putting me back in there again. When you see fit, I appreciate your vote and your support. Thank you. Have any questions?
Doesn't take very long to say a lot, does it? Continuing on with, we have District 4. I had no responses. Is there anyone here from District 4 that I've overlooked that responded? District 5, Charles Arnold responded, but he cannot be here because he had to be in East Tennessee tonight. He sends his regrets and asks for your vote. I had no response from District 6 that I have marked. Is there anyone here from District 6? District 7? Do I have anyone here from District 7? Have I missed anyone in the District 4 Commissioners? County Commissioners, have I missed anyone? If not, we'll continue on. Next on my list is for Register of Deeds. We come to the letter D. And first on my list in alphabetical order is Ms. Cheryl Moore.
Mr. Baggett just told me I could only have 30 seconds, so I'm going to have to talk fast. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Cheryl Potts Moore, a native Houston County. My parents was the late Charlie and Neil Potts. I have 2 sons, Scott and Mark T., who have blessed me with 6 grandchildren. I'm currently serving as Register of Deeds after being appointed to the position by the Houston County Legislative Body in 1989. I was appointed to fill a one-year unexpired term of the previous register. The only way I knew to thank them is to pour my heart and soul in this job and prove to them that I could do it, because I'm sure some of them had some doubt. So, every year I give good audit. I have no findings. Even though my first year we had I took in $44,000 in recording fees, that has tripled. And I'm still maintaining the office in the same budget with very little increase and staying well beneath my annual budget. I used to say that I run the office with integrity, efficiency, dedication, and professionalism. I've had several incidents that's made me take professionalism out of it. Like the time I done the splits in front of the courthouse. It was kind of hard. After we kind of got straightened up, I asked the tax assessor, I said, "Where were you when I was trying to get up?" She said, "Girl, I was directing traffic by the time you went down that light turned green." But I'm me. What you see is what you get. Another instance, I had this man come in there. The registrar's office is kind of the informational center, because you walk in the courthouse, you don't turn and walk into my office. This man came in there one day and he said, "Miss Moore, do you know Verizon?" I said, "Yes, sir. I know most of them." And I looked over at my helpers. I said, "What?" I said, "Do you mean Chick, Cass, Will Ryan? Which bunch you talking about?" "No, ma'am, Miss Cheryl. No, ma'am. Notarize. One of them things you put that seal on." But anyway, back to a serious note. Should you decide to keep me as Register of Deeds, I will never take my responsibilities lightly, and I will strive to continue serving you with the same integrity, efficiency, and dedication of the past 21 years. Not professional. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you. Thank you for flubbing up. Now we don't feel so bad.
We're only human. You folks, if you've never done this before, you can't realize what all goes into it and how it. I don't want to offend anyone, and I try to keep it very honest. And my goodness, you get 58 people. I had 58 turned in to me the names. It's very hard to keep everything going. Next on our list is Miss Sheila Spears. We're still for Register of Deeds.
Good evening. Can you hear me? I wish to thank the FCE clubs and also the Chamber for inviting us to speak at this forum. I'm Sheila Miles Spears, and I would like to be your next Register of Deeds. I've lived in Houston County all my life and graduated from Houston County High School. I'm married to Larry Spears of Cumberland City, and we have been married for 27 years. We have one son, Joshua, and he is married to Dawn Cobb Spears. My father is the late Percy Miles, and my mother is Earlene Farrell Miles. I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. I worked at Southern Gauge for 25 years, and then I went to work in the Register of Deeds office for 7 months. And I am currently employed at the Houston County Emergency Medical Services and have been there for 6.5 years. I have been on this campaign journey since March, and I have met a lot of interesting people along the way. This has been an experience I will never forget. I would like to encourage everyone to exercise their right as an American and to take this opportunity and to voice your opinion to make a difference by voting in this election. Thank you for all your support, and I hope to see you at the polls. Anybody have any questions?
thing on my list, and then we're gonna have intermission after this category. And I want you all to be sure and go around and check out the refreshments. Next on our list is City of Aaron Mayor. We have 5 people vying for this office, so it's going to take a few minutes to get through this, I'm sure. And first on our list, a candidate for our mayor, Mr. Cecil Baggett.
First, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. I thank our sponsors. I know they put a lot of time in it. I know most of you know me, but if you don't, I'd like to say that my name is Cecil Baggett. I was born and raised in Houston County, went to school, retired, and married Willow Lewis. I let some of my good friends talk me to run for mayor. I served the last 4 years. I might say one thing, that we kept our tax rates low and had to raise them. And even during the flood that we had, we didn't have to borrow any money. We made it do pretty good. Because we still got a lot of work to do. We also have a good grant. We already accepted it. And we're going to work on our water system and our sewer system. And I might say one time about our downtown beautification project. I'll give Mr. Larson credit that he got it started when he was in the office before. But we kept pushing at it. We got part of it complete. In the next phase, I think we'll get involved and get pretty quick. I think we've done a good job for us keeping the walking trail up. We've extended, put in lights down the lower end. And also might say that we put in a lot of guardrails. And I think a lot of these ditches are a lot safer now than it was before. We ripped out a lot of banks, ditches, that the water was undermining the roads. And I think it's a whole lot safer right now. As everybody can see, they went up and down the main road. We've got the creek cleaned out right now. And I think it looks real nice. I'd just like to thank everybody here again tonight. And like Ray said a while ago, everybody needs to get out and vote. Because that flag up there means everybody. If everybody's in the service, then you realize more than ever. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our list, Lorraine Beecham.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lorraine Beecham. I've been the alderman for the past 8 years for Ward 4 for the city of Erie. I'm currently seeking the office of the city of mayor because I felt like it was time to make a change. And on my campaign trail, everyone I've talked to, that's what they want to see to happen too, is a change. So I'm asking for everyone's vote so that I can be the mayor of the city of Erin so we can make that happen. I didn't feel like as an alderman that I was going to be able to make that happen, but as your city mayor, I think that it's possible to have change. And I'm talking about positive change. Mayor Baggett talked about the things that are happening now with the riffraff and the creeks being cut out. Those are some positive things, but should have been done a long time ago. And the other things that need to be done are some business decisions that are made prior to board meetings. And we need to make sure we have all of our information to make the right decisions for everyone. I'm certainly glad to see everybody out here because when people show up, things change. I'd like to encourage everybody who is in the city to show up for our city meetings because when you show up, there's some things that do change and the board members and the mayor does listen. So on a positive note, I think the city of Erin is worth doing some new things with, and we do need to bring in some new businesses. I had recently closed my business due to just some tax reasons and some things that maybe we need to look into that tax purposes, what we can do to help our businesses and our new businesses. I'm just here to ask for your vote. I'm a lifelong resident of Houston County. I lived in the Arlington community for the last 38 years, and I hope that I have represented everybody in Ward 4 to the best of my ability, as well as other wards of people who have called me to ask for my opinion. I appreciate everyone that's here, and I thank the FCE and the Chamber of Commerce for being able to put this on and invite us all. I think when the public speaks, everyone listens. So, if you want change, then elect me, and if you don't, then you need to just elect whoever you want to, but please get out and vote. Your vote makes a difference. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
The first forum I've ever had where there's no questions. Next on our list for City of Erin Mayor, Ryan Largent.
I've got a big old long speech prepared. It will take up this whole 5 minutes. It's been a lot of time, so I can talk to you. The ones that don't know me, my name is Ryan Martin. I'm the mayor of the city of Erin. I have been a past mayor of Erin, and my decision to run again was my passion for this community. Can y'all hear me?
No. Barely.
Barely? Can you hear me now? All right. For the passion of this community, I like to see this community progress and remain a viable and productive community for everybody that lives in it. As Mayor Baggett mentioned, we had starts of a bunch of different projects, and the downtown renovation was one of those projects. It is a phase project, so that means that the first phase is completed. And it has numerous other phases to follow. I served 8 years as mayor and 10 years on the city board, so I have the knowledge and the experience to be the mayor of the city of Erin. I'm also very experienced and well-knowledge in the rules and regulations of the state and federal government, and also the city's ordinances and regulations. And I would work hard with those agencies and the city to continue the good work that the city does. I think the city has progressed over the last 4 years, but not maybe as much as it could have. Like I said, my name is Ryan Largent. I'm running for the city of Erin Mayor. I have the knowledge, the ability, and the know-how to do the job. I would appreciate your vote, and I really would appreciate everybody go out and vote. That's the main thing. Because last election, I got beat by Mayor Darrell Martin. And I think maybe because some people didn't go vote because they didn't think they needed to go vote. But I do ask you to go vote. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions?
Next on our list is Michael Lewis.
How are y'all doing this evening? I think I asked him to turn up the heat. Is everybody cold? Figured. Like she said, my name is Mike Lewis, and I'm running for mayor for the city of Erin. Just a little background for those of you that don't know me. I've been married for going on 13 years to my wife Nicole. We have 4 kids, ranging from 7 to 1 and 1 on the way. So life is busy at my house. In saying that, you know, I think that we need to keep in mind the past, present, and future of Erin. We need to remember where we've come from, but we also have to keep an eye on the future, where we're going. On the way over here, I was thinking, you guys are all of us, have a very big job ahead of us. This is one of the largest elections in a while, and we have a lot of decisions to make. All races, mostly all the races are contested. And we need to ask ourselves, who is going to be in my best interest? Who's going to exercise what I want for the city of Erin, and not their personal thoughts and feelings? It's got to be somebody who's going to be out there for all of us. We need to work together as a team. We need to have a team environment. Whenever I decided to run for the city of Mayor, I determined that I'd go down and I'd look at the charter for the city and I'd read over it. It's a good thing to know if you're going to be mayor, right? So I looked over it and I noticed that it's mayor and alderman. And that said something to me. This was a team job, and we need to be a team environment. We need to work together. It doesn't matter who I like or dislike in my own personal feelings, but when it comes to sitting down at that table and working for the citizens of Erin, we need to put all differences aside and work together. In my life, I've worked ever since I was 13. I know what it means to have to struggle and strive. I wasn't given everything. Like sometimes today we have in this society where things are just handed to people. We need to work towards something better. We need to work towards our future. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies like Sherwin-Williams, starting at the ground and working up to be a production manager. By the time the plant closed down, to be shipped overseas to China. I know how it feels to lose my job to foreign trade coming in and taking over. I've worked for the Department of Defense. I've worked together as a team to help supply our men and women in the armed forces fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq. It was a humbling experience, sometimes shipping out coffins overseas to our veterans who had fallen. It was an amazing and humbling experience, but I learned to work together as a team and for something bigger besides myself. I was a volunteer firefighter for 11 years, working from the ground up, going to college. And in that time, I was a lieutenant and a captain on the fire line, secretary for the board of the fire department. And we, as a community fire department, worked together to make that place better. And that's what I want to do for you guys. I don't want to come up here and promise you when I can't provide. I can't tell you that as mayor, I'm going to pave this sidewalk or put this street in, because we're a team. And if I say that I'm going to do this and the other members of my team don't want to do it, it's not going to get done. And I'm going to lose credibility. I've lost it. What I need to do is I need to come together and work with the aldermen that you choose to put in office, together as a team, to provide your best interest for the city of Erin. I'd like to see more growth in business, like Nina said. I'd like to work together to expand that tax base. As things go down, as you lose residents, as you lose businesses, that tax base gets smaller. And we either lose city jobs, we lose city expenditures, we lose the different things that the city provides, or we can raise taxes. And none of us want to hear that, do we? I mean, that's just crazy, especially in the midst of the economic times. What I'm here today is to tell you that I want to work towards a better team environment. Working within the city as a better team, working outside of the city with the county government, with the state government, and working together to provide something for the citizens of Erin that we can be proud of again, that we can look towards and say, I live in the city of Erin, and I don't want to live anywhere else but here. And that's what I'm going to do if elected, to the city of Erin's mayor. Is there any questions? I've lived here for 5 years, and that is, to go into that, I've lived in other cities. I've lived in California, I've lived in Pennsylvania, I've lived in big cities, and I would not rather be anywhere else but in Erin, because I know how it feels to be in that big city and that traffic and everything. Let me tell you what, whenever kids come to me and say, I can't wait to get out of the city of Erin, I tell them, well, yes, you can. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, for the mayor of the city of Erin, Tommy Parchman.
I'm Tommy Parchman. I'm born and raised in Houston County. I grew up out in the Spring Hill community. I've worked all my life. I grew up on a farm. I've worked 23 years with the city of Erin and the police department. 10 years of that was chief. I worked fairly close with all the mayors except Mr. Mayor Baggett, and I retired when he came into office. I've feel that I can give the city what they need in the mayor, fair and honest operation, keep it open for the public, not try to hide what's going on inside City Hall, meet with the county city council on a monthly basis without going to a regular meeting, do an information meeting with them. Like I say, I appreciate y'all's vote. I'm running for the mayor's office, city of Erin. I'm not a public speaker, so thank you for everybody coming out. Any questions? May God bless you, United States of America.
At this time, we're going to take about a 15-minute intermission so you can stretch and get you something in the refreshments. When you come back, we're going to start with the county mayor candidate race. Go around and bring those people from the refreshments around here. They bring their lemonade with them. Please come back in so we can see them. And like Darren said, you folks out in the yard back there, please talk softly. Are you all ready to begin? Let me hear you. I tell you, this bunch needs to get livelier. Next on our agenda is county mayors. We had the city mayor candidates. Next is our county mayor candidates. Folks, these are very important jobs, so let's please pay attention and listen. And ask some questions if you want to. Don't be bashful. First on our list is Mr. George Clark. George E. Clark.
5 minutes, George, 5 minutes. They always ring the bell on me. Oh, do they? He's talking.
I forgot, Harry told me I forgot again to introduce myself. I'm Inez Dyer, and I have been married for 54 years. I have 5 daughters that I'm very proud of that went to Houston County High School. I have a lot of grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And I'm happy to do this forum for you. And if I mess up, just remember, I'm not 50 anymore.
First of all, I want to say thank you to the Family Community Education Club, Ms. Dyer, and the other ladies that participated and make this possible. Also, I want to thank the Houston County Chamber of Commerce. They do a great job here in our county, and we just thank you for allowing us to be here tonight as candidates to talk to you a little about what we're doing. But most of all, I really want to thank you. I want to thank you for allowing me serve as your county mayor. I really, honestly enjoy my job. I enjoy. Can you hear me now? I really enjoy my job, and I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank another lady that's here tonight. My wife's here, and we've been married for 36 years. And being a candidate is not sometimes the easiest thing in the world for life, but without her support, I wouldn't be here, and I know that. So thank you, everyone. With that said, I want to talk to you a little bit about business. Houston County is a big business, and I have a good legislative body that I work with. I work well with them, and I work well with all the other county officers, because I think that's important. But our legislative body has not raised our taxes or kept the same tax rate for the last 6 years. That's very important. A lot of counties around us cannot say that they're sound. Houston County is a sound financial county, and I'm proud of that. And we'll continue to try and work to keep that tax rate as low as possible, but yet provide services to the people here in Houston County. Now, we've got a lot of projects that's going on. We've done a lot in the last 8 years, or 6 years, or 4 years, whatever you want to put it. But some of the things that we've done, we work with the Drug Alliance. Mr. Herb Gould's here tonight. I think he was here earlier. And we developed a new park in Magnolia. I hope you go there. It's a family place. And we're real proud of that park. We've also worked in the Danville area. We're in the process of acquiring 56.8 acres from TVA to enlarge that park at Danville. We've already got approved our first grant. It's a 10-phase project. The first phase has been approved by the state. We just got through receiving an $80,000 grant to do that. And that's going to be going on within the next year and a half as far as that. Also, some of the other projects that we've got, we just got through completing an airport project. We got a grant from the Department of Transportation for $700,000 to do that. And that project is almost complete now. We resurfaced the entire airstrip. We removed some of the utilities there. We also have an application in right now to add fuel and to extend the length of the land that we have at the airport. We're still working on a $500,000 water project with the city of Tennessee Ridge. This project is almost complete. When it's complete, 90% of the citizens of Houston County will have good, clean drinking water. That's very important for growth, and we're real proud of that. But we'll not stop until 100% is done. Another project that really gets to you is through HUD. We received over $800,000 to help people move into new homes. We have built 4 new homes for individuals. We have also provided 11 new modular homes for people. You cannot imagine the expression on these people's face when they get a new home. And it's a very important project, and we're going to continue to do that and add additional homes to people. Another area that we work right now, we have a good fire department. We have 3 fire stations. We have one in the eastern part of the county, one in the western, one in the middle part. And this, we're going to continue to do that. We have, like I say, a good fire department, and we're going to continue to try and make it grow. And we would even like to extend that fund in the years to come. We have also just got through receiving a $750,000 100% grant from the state to build a new ambulance facility. This will be a facility that we've been needing for a long time. And we're looking right now to find a place close to Erin, which would be centrally located, so that we can better serve the citizens here in Houston County. We're also applying for what we call a first responder ECO building, which will add all of our central communications, our emergency management, and have a fire truck and a crash vehicle in that particular building. And we feel like this grant will probably be approved. It's for $1.5 million. We're one of the few counties that's going to be allowed to apply for that particular grant. So then, they say I don't have any more time. We have done a lot with industrial development. We have helped just about every industry in the industrial park, and we will continue to do that to make growth. Thank you. Vote for me on August the 5th.
Mr. Clark used his 5 minutes to give a good record statement. If you have questions for him, just walk up to him and ask him. Next on our list for County Mayor, Mr. James E. Sykes. Mr. Sykes, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for inviting us here tonight. I appreciate getting up here and talking to everyone. When I first got here, I thought that they renamed the town to Clarktown because that's all I see on the wall here. If I was going to do that, I was going to put some of my decorations up. The reason I'm running for county mayor is I want to serve you, the people of this county. Houston County's been good to me, and I would like the opportunity to give back to the community. I would like to improve our county and the lives of our citizens. We need to work to get better paid, high quality jobs in the county. I know we have an industrial park. If you look at Houston County, it's about like the state of Tennessee. You're divided into 3 areas. You got the industrial end, on the eastern end, you got the middle part here in Erin, which is Tennessee Ridge, which is smaller residents, and then down in the western end, you have a lot good for the tourism, which is, I'm glad to see the middle of the park. But that first thing we need down there is some parking. If you go down there on Saturday or Sunday, we lose a lot of tourists by people just going around and surfing because they can't get the boat into the water because they have so far to walk if they do. They're lined up all the way on 147 on both sides. We just have no parking down there. We would have a whole lot more tourism people coming in. And some of them have asked me, says, why are we building a walking trail down there? Said you need something for the four-wheelers to get them off the road down there before somebody gets killed. So that might be something we want to look into. We need to do some more land development, construction. Young people in this county can stay here. It's like the rest of the city. I left here at 17 years old to start working outside the county. I was lucky enough to come back and work. Then I left again for another 15 years and worked for 2 cities in North Carolina with the public works director and city manager. Because I've heard some things that I've been going around and people say, well, you're not qualified for it to be county mayor. I've got over 27 years of government experience. I worked with everybody from, well, I guess you'd say legislators, governors, anybody all the way up to one time they even called the vice president on something I needed one time when he was in there when I was in North Carolina. And the story about that, he called back my secretary. He said, this is the vice president. Called him, he said, yeah. He said, I'm the Queen of Sheba too. He didn't believe it. I always called him back. But like I say, I'm a graduate of high school here in Houston County. I've got a municipal administration from the Institute of Government from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I've leadership of Richmond County, and like I said, over 27 years. I have no ties or obligations to any group in the county, and I will treat each person and each community fairly and equally. I work with the cities. If we get money in for the county to do something for the cities, We'll sit down with the county and the cities and say, okay, we have this money. What do you, let's hear what you would like to spend it for. I'm saying, well, I've got this and this is what we're going to do with it. We need to work with everyone and have cooperation among everyone. So I will do that very soon. I will take every effort to unify our counties and assemblies to accomplish goals we'd all like to achieve. I'm a hard worker and a good listener, and I can get things done. If elected to this office, I'm going to have 15% of my salary back to the county agencies and the groups in the county. I retired, I live down on the lake, my Social Security, my retirement, I'm not in it for the money, I'm in it here for the people of the county. That's who I want to represent, not myself. I'm not going to go out and buy no land for any prospects and keep it. So I appreciate that. And I want to work for county employees to get them an insurance package, which we'll have to get this year because that's coming into effect. It's a law, they'll have to be offered insurance. I'll work in some kind of complex for our youth where they can play basketball or baseball and softball and other sports activities. It's a shame that we have to go, the kids go to these other places and see the nice ballparks they got, and they come back and we play 3 different places and you got 3 kids playing. You have to go to 3 different areas. So with that, I appreciate your vote for Pearson County Mayor of Houston County. I'll ask for your vote and support tonight. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
He used all of his time too, so if you have a question for him, just see him in person. Don't confuse me, Harry. I'm very easy to get confused. Next on our list is candidates for the school board. And for District 1, I didn't have any response. Is there anyone here from representing District 1? I didn't have any response from District 5. The only district I had response from was District 6. And at this time, I'd like to ask Derek Pryor to come forward, please.
Good evening, and my name is Derek Pryor, for any of those who don't know me. And I would like to be your school board representative in District 6. Along with my wife Tanya, our 2 kids, Will and Laura Lynn. We are lifelong residents of Houston County. I graduated in 1987 and went to Tennessee Tech University and received my Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering in 1992. We were gone for about 6 months right after college, but since then we've been back. I've worked 2 or 3 places, but mostly at McIntosh Construction in Clarksville for 5 years. And for the last 10 years, and still currently, I'm employed with the Tennessee Department of Transportation in a construction field office. We oversee new construction. I believe we have new challenges facing our school system. For those who don't know, I did not get the teaching gene from my mother. It don't work. But that's okay too, because as a school board member, I don't need to know how to teach. I just need to give teachers like her, administrators, bus drivers, maintenance staff, we just need to give them whatever they need to get the job done. I don't have to know how to teach. That's why God made those people, and they are special people. If I have any pet peeves that I would like to make sure we do, I want to keep all of our good local teachers local. I do not want our good teachers here to go to any other county. We pay taxes, and just like everybody else, our kids deserve that education.
Amen.
And I will do what I can. No promises. We all know how money is. But I believe there are other things you can do besides money to keep people happy. But we need to keep our good local teachers here. And the big challenge I see our schools facing are this. When I graduated, I went to a 4-year school, got my degree. My wife went to a 2-year school and got a different degree. Some kids go to a trade school, some kids will go straight to work. We have to accommodate all 4 groups so they can be productive citizens. And that is going to be hard to do in the future. But that is what I see as our biggest challenge. We have to get the kids to college who want to go to college, trade school, associate's school, or straight to work. We have to make sure each one of those kids get what they need and deserve to be successful. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Next on our list from District 6, Arlene Richardson.
Most of you don't know me by that name. That is my legal first name. I go by Susan Richardson. Interesting story about that, but we don't have time for that tonight. I've lived here 30 years since I married Sam Richardson. We raised our children here. They attended Houston County schools. And I plan to live here the rest of my life. And so I want to do what I can for our school children. I have worked as a part-time parent educator with the Tennessee Early Intervention System, which works with children 0 to 3 that are identified as developmentally delayed or have some physical handicap or mental handicap. I go into their home and work with the parents. I'm not doing that anymore. I did it for about 5 years. I now work and have worked for 12 years as a school counselor in another school system. I agree with Mr. Pryor on a lot of things he said. Our teachers need the support and the resources to do their job well. We have some good teachers, but we need to be sure that they have what they need to do their job, and the administrators need what they need to take care of each school building. We need fair and appropriate discipline for all children, and the teachers need the assistance in the classroom in order to keep that environment a good learning environment for all students. We need to accommodate all students and make sure that their needs are met in all of their classes and even in their social time. And that will be my goal, is to make sure that the teachers have what they need and that the students, because that is our job, that is the school's job, is to educate all children. So we need to provide that support as school board members. Any questions?
From District 7 for the school board, we have Kenny Spears.
Well, I'm not no public address speaker either, but I have been accused of being a talker. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kenny Spears. I lived out here in Houston County for 42 years. The first 17 years I lived up on Tennessee Ridge. I'm a 1984 graduate of Houston County High School. For the last 25 years I've been living out in District 7 on Barber Highway. At the same amount of time I've been married to my wife Donita for 25 years. We have 3 sons, 2 of whom are still in school. And I would just like to say, if I'm elected by the citizens of District 7 for the school board member, that I would promise to serve and do the best of my ability for any concerns anyone might have with the school system. Thank you.
Next on my list is candidates for the sheriff's office. And first in that line is Mr. Darrell Allison.
How's everybody today? I'm really glad that the rain held off and it clouded up and it made this a lot more bearable. And I'll make this short and sweet for everybody. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I am Darrell Allison and I am running for the office of sheriff. Most of you know me. You know that I'm not a public speaker. I've told everybody I'm a policeman. I'm a career policeman. 25 years. I believe in hard work. I believe in getting out and doing the job. We've got 3 good candidates in this race. It's going to be up to everybody to make up their own mind as to who they think will make them safer, who they think will be there for them when they need them. I think I can be that person. I think if most of you know me, you know that I'm very available. I'm there when you call me. I come when you call me. And I do the very best job that I can to try to satisfy the situation that's going on. Very familiar with the law, very familiar with the courts, very familiar with the entire aspect of being a law enforcement officer. If you elect me to be the next sheriff, I will work twice as hard for you as I have doing anything in my whole career. Most of you know that when you call me, like I said, I'm very easy to get a hold of. I carry 2 cell phones. I have a portable radio. I have a radio in my truck and a radio in my kitchen at the house. And if anybody knows my wife, they know that she doesn't like to hear that thing too often, especially in the middle of the night. But I like to keep up with what's going on. I like to be available for my officers as well as the public. And if you'll elect me, I promise you that'll happen for the next 4 years and maybe even beyond. Thank you.
Do you have any questions? Next on our list, Kenneth Barnes.
Unlike everybody else, thank y'all for being here tonight, bearing the heat and the humidity. Thank all y'all for coming out and listening to us. I said this before to other forums, and I'll say it again tonight. We'll thank Darrell and Daniel for running professional campaigns throughout this election. This early voting started today. I do hope that all y'all have already went out and voted for me. I appreciate that. But I do thank them for running the professional campaign. That's not always done. Sometimes people want to do the mudslinging and do all that, which I've never done that, and I'm again thankful that they haven't done that either. For those that may not know me, I've been in law enforcement here in Houston County for the past 24 years. I celebrated my 24th year this past January the 10th. I started January 10th, 1986. The Houston County Sheriff's Office under Jimmy Mobley. I worked there until September of 1991. I was appointed Chief of Police of Tennessee Ridge Police Department. And then I was at the police department there until I was elected my first term in 1998. So I've been your sheriff for the past 12 years, and I want to thank you for allowing me to be your sheriff for the past 12 years. And that's one of the things that I think I bring to the table as far as being the best candidate for the sheriff in my experience. All my experience has been here in Houston County. So I know the people. I was born and raised here in Houston County, raised my family here in Houston County, and I've been here all my life. Again, as I say, I know the people. I've been around the people all my life. Most of y'all know my dad was in law enforcement here for 35 years. And my brother was in law enforcement here, which he's now works with GVA Police. And then I started again my career in 1986 here. And out of those 24 years, I have 19 years experience at the administrative level. And out of all that time, I've prepared the budgets for the police department or for the sheriff's office, and I've always worked within my budget for those 19 years. I think that's a very important thing. When you get the budget set by the county commission, and then it's our job to be good stewards of our money, of your money, of the taxpayers' dollars, and to run the office as efficiently as possible. And I believe I've done that in the 7 years I was at Tennessee Region, the 12 years I've been your sheriff. 4 years ago, when I was running for office, when I was around campaigning, one of the big things, there's really two big things that I heard. One of the big things was the drug problem in the county. I mean, that's an ever-growing problem in all counties and all cities. It's not just here. After I was elected the last term, I carried your concerns to the county commission and to the county mayor, and I requested that they allow me to hire a full-time drug enforcement officer, in which they did that. And I think around September, when we actually got him hired and sent him to work with the 23rd Judicial Drug Task Force for his field training. Then he came back early spring of the following year to work full-time here in the county. And since then, the past 3 years, he's made over 101 defendant arrests. This past year, and I'm talking about budget year-wise, he's seized over $50,000 in assets from people that he's arrested for drug dealing. So I took your complaint, your concern, and I couldn't have done it by myself. I had to get help from the county commission, and they allowed me to hire that person. And he's fighting the problem with the drugs, and he's doing a good job with that. One of the other concerns was the Magnolia Bridge area, White Oak Community Center. They had big concerns about the problems that was happening there. With the help from the Drug Alliance and the county commission, they've made that a park now. And with the Drug Alliance obtaining grant money to help us pay overtime for officers, when we've been able to really clean that area up, and it's made it a good family park now. Larry said they got about 20 seconds, so I just ask you again, I want to thank you again, and I ask you again to allow me to continue to be your sheriff and vote for me on August 5th. Thank you.
I know 5 minutes is not very much time, but we have to give everybody a time to speak. So it goes quickly, doesn't it? Next on our list for sheriff is Mr. Daniel Whitaker.
Can you guys hear me? All right, I want to briefly introduce myself. I'm Daniel Whitaker, born and raised here in Houston County, for those of you all who don't know me. I do hold a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and public administration, and I've worked in law enforcement in various different fields. I have two beautiful children running around here handing out flyers that's got some of my qualifications. If you guys want to look at that or talk to me one-on-one, I'll talk to you more about it. But I want to talk to you guys about what I want to do with the sheriff's office. I have been out in the community talking to people, and here are their concerns. Burglaries, thefts, drugs, and our kids. That's what we've got to address, guys. If we have a burglarization to a home, myself as sheriff and the deputies, we are going to do everything in our power to investigate these things thoroughly, try to recover your property, bring people to justice, get really proactive in this fight against theft and burglarization. Now, most of these things come from drugs. We've always combated drugs. We've got to continue to combat drugs. New drugs are coming every day. Methamphetamine has not really hit Houston County yet. It's going to be on its way. We've got to be on the forefront of that. We have to stay out here. We've got to stay on top of the areas where we think there's drug activity. Get out there and stop it before it starts. You've got to stop the supply. We're going to combat that every way we can through multi-jurisdiction agencies, outside sources such as the DEA, the Drug Task Force, whatever we've got to do. The next thing is our youth. And when people are worried about our youth, they're worried about drugs. We've got to keep a good rapport with the school system. We've got to get in there. We've got to educate our youth about drugs and crime. They've got to understand that law enforcement is there for them, not to hurt them. So we've got to step up the process of staying involved with our youth. Get more programs, start more drug educations, stay involved with them. Ultimately, it involves staying involved with the community, because if I'm involved with the community, then I'm going to know what their concerns are, and that way
I can hold the deputies to the standard that you guys want them to be held to and do what you want them to do. Be proactive in patrols. Get out on these rural areas where you complain that you haven't seen a deputy. Well, hey, if I gotta get out there myself, let's do it. Let's just step it up, get out there, be more proactive, bring things up to that professional standard, do more training, do more thorough investigations, and serve the public like they need to be. All this stuff can be done within the budget. If we need outside funding, let's go get it. I've personally been to Washington, D.C. I've lobbied in front of Congress. I know how all this works. I can apply for grants. I've got experience in that. I can manage them, and I can work within the budget. The things I'm talking about doing are not going to cost us any money. It's just going to be us bringing up the bar or the level of service that we're going to give to the county. And that's what I'm about. And I'd like to take this time to personally ask you all for your vote. If you haven't already voted, go vote early. Or if not, do it on August 5th. Just please give me all your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you all.
Next on my list is Superintendent of Roads. And the first one to speak is Jimmy D. Phelps. Mr. Phelps, could I hold you just a second, please? This lady from FCE would like to make a short announcement.
Hello, can everybody hear me, or should I just do it without the microphone? We have hot dogs over here, half price, 2 for the price of 1, 75 cents. And it's a fundraiser for the FCE. And we donate money to the community center, the youth center. We do a lot of things for the community with this money. Yes, ma'am. And 4-H. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Phelps.
I want to thank the FCE Club and the Chamber of Commerce for holding this forum. My name is Jimmy Phelps. I'm running for Highway Superintendent for re-election. I hear myself now. I brought a teleprompter with me. And now I can't see. But the first thing I want to do is thank the people of Houston County that have helped us with the flood situation. You just can't believe how much help people have been. And I want to thank you for your patience. I know it's a slow job. As of right now, we've worked on over 900 places. Some of them as small as just a bucket of gravel, and some as large as $500,000. So it's going to be a slow job, but I appreciate your patience and your help. I want to thank the people who work for the Houston County Highway Department. We got people who work Saturdays, Sundays, holidays, sometimes 16 hours a day during the flood and during the snow, and a lot of times at night when the tree falls. We go out at 1 or 2 o'clock to get that out of the road, so it's certainly not a 40-hour-a-week job. We're working with FEMA to rebuild our road system, which is also a slow job. It takes a lot of time to get the paperwork done to get the money to come. But I feel confident in the next 2 or 3 years we'll probably build 20 new bridges and change a lot of metal culverts to concrete culverts through the help of FEMA, repair the road damage where it is, repair the door. I'd like to say that the Highway Department is financially sound. All our bills are paid. All our employees have been paid every 2 weeks, just like they're supposed to. Nobody's had to wait for a paycheck. So we are financially sound. I'd like to ask everybody here for their vote and their support. And if there's any questions, I'll take those at this time.
we have property off of Buckeye Road, and about a year ago, maybe a little later, it'll soon be a year, the blacktop, the road was getting in bad shape. It had potholes here and there, but there was parts that were still good. County came in or chewed it up. All the blacktop was chewed up, and tar and gravel put down. The road now is pretty much like a gravel road. It's horrible to take a car on it. And it has been almost a year, and after the work was completed, within a week, the holes were coming back in it. And now there is, it's awful. And I want to know how long it's going to take to get it fixed, and when it's going to be done, and what's going to be done.
We're planning to pave that road this fall. You cannot build a road from the top down. Like you said, Buckeye Road had numerous potholes and soft spots in it that have been in there for years, that the former highway superintendent tried to fix, and I tried to fix. I spent $10,000 on one pothole and dug it out, done everything just like I should have done, and it was already coming back up. So yes, we did plow the asphalt in the places where it was bad, and that's step one. You got to have something to build a road on. I could have paved it. It would have been a quick fix, and it would have been a quick come apart. So it will be paved this fall. That's why we plowed it up. I took a lot of grief about that because I worked on Buckeye Road instead of somebody else's road. So if you'll be patient, I hope that this fall will get paid. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you for asking that question. That's our first. Next on our list is Superintendent of Roads is Mr. Brian Richardson. We're getting close to the end. Don't nobody leave.
Hello, my name is Brian Richardson. I'm the Highway Superintendent. I've been in and around politics a long time. I've served in the fire department for 28 years this year as a citizen here and citizens out here in Houston County. I've sat the last 6 years as a city council member and sat on the boards of the roads and sewer committees. I've sat on the board of zoning appeals and the planning commission. The planning commission, we've been talking to them about growth in the city, in the county, getting new industries coming in. Everybody's wanting more in. And the city was the same way. We had the same theory. We tried to want to go work forward in that same direction. All the infrastructure is kind of good. We don't have good communications in the county. We don't have good roads in the county. We're not going to attract businesses. So everybody up and down through all the candidates that's running for office needs to work to try to get more industry in the county. I've worked out of the county, anywhere from Saratoga, Mississippi on campus, managing big job sites. Vanderbilt University, worked there both summer doing it, and I've owned my own business for over 20 years here in the county. And I'm staying, within my field, managing jobs, and built several secondary roads and some few primary roads. And I won't take my knowledge from being in politics with the city of Erin all the way up to doing normal dirt work, building pads, commercial pads, and take my experience, and I think I can take that and serve the citizens of the county and try to get us going in the direction that everybody else here wants to go and watch us grow. That's about all I got. Just short and sweet. Thank you. Anybody got a question? Thank you. Appreciate y'all voting.
Our next category is trustee He has no opponent, Mr. Jimmy Lowry, but he's good enough to come and speak to you and let you know he's still here.
Thank you very much, FCE Club and Chamber of Commerce, for organizing this political forum. Done another great job. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jimmy Lowry, and what an honor it is to serve as your trustee for the great county of Houston County. The trustee is the banking agent or treasurer of Houston County. Some of my duties include receiving, dispersing, depositing, and investing county funds. These funds are generated from the state of Tennessee through grants, other county offices, of course, property taxes, gas taxes, and local option sales tax. In other words, all the money comes through Houston County, flows through the trustee's office. After these funds are received, they're then dispersed to the appropriate county agency. All the county funds are deposited in interest-bearing accounts. Idle balances or idle funds are invested in the form of CDs at our local banks. There have been several changes in the trustee's office over the past few years. One of the main changes has been through the state tax relief program. The tax relief program is a state program that aids our service-connected disabled veterans, our low-income senior citizens, and disabled homeowners with their property taxes. This past year, it paid up to $143 towards the property taxes. This is a great aid to our senior citizens. In order to qualify for tax relief this coming 2010 tax year, as a homeowner, you must be 65 years of age or older, 100% disabled, and your combined income must be under $26,830. This has increased some since last year, and all this is based on your 2009 income. There's a form we'll fill out after you come into my office. We'll make a few copies, then I'll send the information into the State of Tennessee Tax Relief Office for their approval. Please come to my office. I'll do everything I can to make sure that you receive this tax relief. And I will assist you in this process. I'll be glad to do that. As I mentioned, there's also tax relief for our disabled veterans. The guidelines are different for our veterans. If you're a veteran and 100% disabled, service-connected, or the widow of a disabled vet, please come to my office. There's no income limit, and it's possible that it can pay all your property taxes. Ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't for the men and women in uniform, we wouldn't be doing this tonight. I'm going to take care of our veterans, and I'm going to take care of our senior citizens, I promise you that. Looking ahead to the next 4 years, I'll promise to the best of my ability to run the trustee's office as organized and as efficient as I possibly can. I promise to balance the books daily, make timely deposits, and make wise investments with your tax dollars. And if there's anything you need, please feel free to call or stop by my office, and I'll be glad to assist. Are there any questions? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. May God bless you.
I commend Mr. Lowry for coming on it when he doesn't have an opponent. That's very good of you. Thank you. We want to thank all of our candidates that showed up tonight, and we wish you all luck, and may you all win. If not this time, maybe next time. But I want to thank everybody that helped me to get this forum together. Thank you for your response to your invitations.